Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. The Guild War 10 is finally upon us, guys. It is the patch updates video for Wednesday, and, you know, we knew there was a Cait Sith banner coming. I did not see in the live stream that it was going to be limited. It is a limited banner, but it does look super cool, guys. So, that being said, let's get into it. By the way, I wish all of the guilds out there best of luck in this Guild War. I hope all of you guys have a ton of fun. Alright, so let's get into it. Okay, so starting from April 23rd, mobile carrier campaigns on now, JP. Interesting. Special value mobile carrier campaigns are taking place now across Japan. SoftBank. That was my phone when I lived in Japan, was SoftBank. Or actually, maybe it was Docomo, or maybe my phone was Docomo. Anyways, not important. I don't really think that this notice affects us in global very much. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, so here we go. Ever Crisis Academy. Okay, Ever Crisis Academy countdown and 600 days since release campaign on now. Alright, log in during the period and get stamina tonic times 77. Honestly, I just want a cap on the stamina tonics, right? We need to be able to hold 999, or stamina tonics need to not expire in the gift box. Either way. Other than that, let's go down. Clear missions to get a total of draw tickets times 150. Alright, that's pretty cool. What else do we got here? Log in for 6 days to get a total of custom box Ever Crisis Academy countdown times 6. Alright, so character weapon parts. Always a good one. Alright, so that's going to be interesting. I think the Ever Crisis Academy month is going to be a lot of fun, especially because I heard you get a guaranteed weapon every 2 stamps. So really easy to get OB10 weapons. So also makes it kind of hard to figure out what to spend crystals on going forward, because we know that next month is going to be a big month, right? I also don't know if this is going to be limited. I feel like it could be, given, I was going to say Gumi, Applebot's track record. My guess is that it will be, but I really hope it's not. Alright, so Guild Battle number 10. I wonder what we are fighting this time, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so just keep in mind, guys, on the 3rd day, this is ending early. It's ending at the day reset time, or maybe like, yeah, the day reset time, guys. So that's what time it's going to be ending. Now let's see what we're going to be fighting. Okay, additional equipment for Vincent and Yuffie are in the armory. Alright, so that's a good setup. What else do we have? Let's go down here. Lightning physical is affected. Furthermore, by setting additional equipment and increasing ability potency, even more damage can be inflicted. Alright, so they're not telling us the boss, so we'll take a look at that here in the video. We have the critical threat Masamune event update. High difficulty Spirit Demon Masamune is here. So this is the crash fight. I bet this is going to be really fun, actually. I just wish that these crash battles didn't take place during Guild War. I honestly have not had really any time to kind of pursue these, just because the Guild War is happening at the exact same time. So this sounds really fun, but at the same time, the timing is always a bit tough for me personally. Alright, here we go. The banner of the day, Cait Sith, limit break draw on now. Now at first when I saw this, I was like, what? Why would this be limited? Like, this makes absolutely no sense that they're just dropping a random Cait Sith limit break draw, right? And then I realized that this is basically the exact time that we would be getting a new character right now, right? So, you know, so that's why I think this is limited. Also, Cait Sith's very first banner wasn't, I believe, actually limited. I feel like it wasn't. And so, you know, maybe they're making up for that, maybe because they're not adding a new character, right? And we didn't see anything about a new character in the live stream, guys, from as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we didn't. And like I said, I would not be surprised if they were cutting new characters down to either 1 or 2 a year, right? That makes a lot more sense. I feel like they put them out really fast and now they're going to slow down. But does that mean that now every 3 months when we would have gotten a, you know, new character, we're going to get a character-specific limit break draw just so that they can kind of keep the assembly line going? I don't know. I don't know. All right, but let's take a look at this. All right, so here we have the new limit break weapon, Cool Cat's Megaphone. All right, and Cait looks really cool. 4 ATB cost, maiming uppercut. All right, the bell actually, or the megaphone, looks super cool. Inflicts up to 710% physical lightning damage upon a single enemy and inflicts enfeeble, plus increases all allies' physical attack when caster's HP is 50% or more. So we have another enfeeble. This time, you know, it started out with Sid, it was linked to ice. Now we have enfeeble, this one's linked into lightning. I'm guessing we're going to eventually get one for each element. Of course, you can use it with different elements, but obviously it's always better when it kind of, you know, syncs up perfectly, right? Alright, so this is pretty funny because this is almost as strong as Murasame. So Murasame is almost getting power crept here, even though I think there's going to be a lot of people in the Guild War using Murasame, guys, since there's no DPS banner. Honestly, it's probably one of the strangest Guild Wars, if not the strangest Guild War that we've gotten since the beginning, I feel. Just because, you know, we're using DPS characters like Cloud was like a day one drop with Murasame. So that's the oldest weapon in the game. And then we have Zack's Zinogre Blade, but because of the Commodore Wand, I just don't think that as many people really pulled for it, right? And most people were going for, man, I can't remember. I want to say Gladius, but that's not the name of the sword. Cloud's Sword, I'm sure you guys will let me know what it was called. I forgot. I think more people were prioritizing Cloud's. Alright, so let's take a look at the costume here, right? So this is actually a fantastic costume. So we have Reprieve. Upon receiving lethal damage, 1 HP will remain. Invincible buff is granted. So Reprieve, obviously incredible to have on a costume. And then we have Cool Cat's Hat. Extends buff debuff duration. Alright, which is great. You want this on a support. I don't understand ever really taking this off a support, to be honest. That's why I was a bit confused with the early banners in this month. Also boosts both physical and magic ability damage when attack stance command gauge is at max. So not only do you get Reprieve, not only do you get buff debuff duration, you also get a physical magic ability damage. So this is a very all-around costume, right? Especially if the supporters kind of become sub DPS, which is what we're kind of seeing them kind of flow into as a groove, right? So really good overall costume. I've been waiting for a Cait Sith costume for a long time. I skipped his very first one. I've been wanting something with buff debuff duration, contemplating using my costume voucher. Never actually went for Cait Sith because he's not used that often, but I will say that his ultimate weapon, HP Shout, is definitely S tier, guys. It is so good. So Cait Sith as a support, I think, is a solid choice. Like I said, I feel like unless you're playing favorites or choosing favorites, you know, you're kind of basing the character on their ultimate weapon, I feel like, right? Because that kind of solidifies them in their role. Alright, so, and then we have Zack's ultimate weapon, which is still the Durandal. So congratulations to everyone who has gotten it so far. Alright, let's go. Alright, so let's go back. Let's see what we got. Alright, there's one more thing. It is a step-up draw. Hopefully it's good. Spring Break step-up draw Cait Sith on now. Alright, as of April 23rd, the Spring Break step-up draw Cait Sith is on now. At step 2 and 4, Mako Gem Durandal is included. Draw for free at step 3. Dang, that's a bummer. It's not step 1. At step 4, the 5-star weapon appearance rate is increased to 50%. So for me, guaranteed skip, but you know, if you guys like the draw, I wish you guys the best of luck on it. Now we actually have access to the shop, which is a standard character shop. We get them every week, so not really much to oversee here. I wonder how many Cait Sith. So I have 266. Alright, now let's take a look. Let's go into the actual Guild War and let's see what we're fighting this time around. Alright, this should be pretty fun. Alright, so let's go into here. Guild War strategy period begins. Yada yada yada. Alright, let's go. What are we fighting? Alright, the Zetant Donder. Donder. That's a fun one. That's an interesting one. Alright, so immune to physical attack down, magic attack down, but not immune to the defense breaks. At the start of battle, greatly increases his own physical defense and magic defense. Interesting. With mode annihilation. And that is breakable, maybe. Force gauge electric absorption can be depleted with lightning element damage. When the gauge is fully depleted, greatly increases his own magic attack with power conversion. Uses the lightning element magic attack Prismatic Ray and follows it up with emergency cooldown, an ability that greatly decreases own physical defense and magic defense. So Prismatic Ray is a single target attack, so we might be bringing a tank into this. There you go. Provoke is useful to protect allies as the enemy uses powerful single target attacks. Alright, interesting. I'm not going to go further right there in this video. If you guys want to see me do like a first look at this battle and building a preliminary team, let me know in the comments below, and I will make a video like that for you guys. Now let's take a look at the draw. Let's just take a quick look at this. We'll do one little 10 pull right here, just like feel out how the aura of luck is feeling for the day. Hopefully it's doing great, because I'm pretty like set on pulling for Cait Sith. I've been looking for a overall costume for him. You guys know me, I like costumes that have a lot of versatility, and I feel like this one does. Plus Enfeeble is so great, and also for the Guild War, so 3 great things about it. It is limited, so that's also brutal, because I'm guessing you're going to want this weapon at OB6. Luckily I've been saving for a little while. Alright, so let's go to here. Alright, the costume is pretty funny. I like it. I like it looks like he's like about to like ride off on a Harley Davidson. Honestly, this looks like the pose right here. I think it's cool though. 7th Heaven on the back. I love it. It's a really fun costume. Alright, so let's take a look at this. We have Reprieve. Alright, so this is 10% and buff debuff effect duration plus 40%. So not great on the buff debuff duration. I wish it was the plus right here. And then attack stance and physical magic ability plus 10%. Overall, pretty solid. I'd rather have more buff debuff duration than the attack and the magic, but I think overall it's still a really good costume. Now let's take a look at the weapon. Just a quick look. Alright, so this is OB1 level 120. Alright, so it does have the physical attack all allies with lightning potency on it. Alright, we'll just take a look at it at OB10, right? Alright, so it's 46 over 39. You get an attack boost, a physical attack boost, and a circle sigil break. Alright, Enfeeble, duration 60 seconds at OB10. When HP is 50% or more, physical attack is increased mid to high. Dang, it's still only mid to high, huh? Well, I guess you'd be spamming this. Interesting to say. Let's take a look at OB6. It's still going to be mid to high, and OB1 is going to be low to mid. So, yeah. Like you guys know, I'm not really psyched on the whole low to mid and then mid to high at OB6. I feel like, you know, these can be high. Like, I don't feel like it's outlandish. But the weapon does look pretty cool. Interesting, though, you really would want to pull this to get OB6, I think. So that'll be something to consider for my to pull or not to pull video dropping tomorrow. Alright guys, so I just wanted to take a quick look at the weapons, see what we were getting into. You know, are you guys going to be pulling for it? I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on it. If you think all around it will be solid for Cait Sith and a positive addition to his kit, I think that it will be, and I will talk about this tomorrow in my next video. So if you guys enjoyed this video today, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.